Hey, it's nice to know the people you're working with, and especially if you've got a big problem with water. Waterproof solutions here. We're going to talk about it. We've got an expert. Stay tuned. Welcome everyone to the Your Little Castle Show. As we've mentioned before, lots of fun we get to partake. We have mutual. If you're in St. Louis for too long, you're going to know everybody. Kind of knows everybody. This is the biggest town in the country, they say.
Biggest little town, yeah.
That's right. Everybody knows everybody, and you got to do well. But we've had some mutual friends with Cruisin' Lindbergh. We talked about that. We found one of our clips. We're going to pull it up. We got Jason's classic Cadillac. Jason McCavalli runs that. That's a lot of fun, and lots of good energy there, and lots of fun people. Get great cars. We're going to show a little bit of that. With your background, you enjoy cars, but also your passion is helping people to keep their house from getting water damage, right? And when you've got problems because you didn't realize the sump pump wasn't working or the gutters were flowing, or you've got that helmet that you talked about,
Yeah.
those things can cause problems sometimes if they're not set up correctly. And
They cause problems all the time. They're just the devil. So water, they're great if it's sprinkling. You know, that water will follow them and go in. Leaves still follow and go in. The real problem is when it's raining hard and the water is sheeting, it just goes right past your gutter. Gutter can't catch the water because it's going right over it.
Gotcha.
So it's a real problem. The water starts cavitating up there when it does get in. It's just a problem. They're no good. But I stress to everybody to take them off. Matter of fact, I won't give a warranty unless they're taken off your house.
Really?
Yeah, I won't give you the warranty.
Interesting. That's something that causes some extensive damage. When you're talking about water, you don't want to mess around with that. Well, tell me though, we dabbled with this question a little bit in our discussion here, but I like to know this. It's my favorite question is, what's the biggest mistake? Now, we talked about that one right there, but what's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're making a decision to get some waterproofing work done and they've got some structural damage to their foundation?
Well, I guess the biggest mistake is waiting. All right, I don't think you should wait. I think you should just it doesn't cost anything to come and evaluate. It doesn't matter. I don't care I have a whole video, one of my fun videos if you get on, a whole video about, I don't care what your house looks like. I don't care if it's messy. I don't care if you're in your robe. All right. I'm an early guy. I showed up early here.
Right.
I showed up early yesterday to a client. She answered in a robe with her coffee. She had a coffee stain. She goes, "You're early." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I can wait in the car." I said, "I can come in, at 8:30 instead of 8. And she goes, "As long as you don't care, I don't care." I said, "If you want to grab me a robe, I'll go look at your problem with you." She laughed. We had a laugh.
Right.
But no, I don't care what's going on, okay? I don't care that there's some kids' clothes or there's something or there's food, I don't care. I'm there to look at, with blinders, I'm there to look at all of your problems with water. All right, and how it's affecting your house. And I want to solve those problems. I have to walk around with you, and I'll show them to you. If they're not, sometimes they don't show their face right away. It takes a lot to figure them out. So don't feel like the Lone Ranger if you didn't know, that not having the correct downspout that's buried is beating on
Something
your house.
as simple as that.
Like I said, I've got some rentals, and my rentals, I started doing this. I was like, I've got a lot of stuff I need to straighten out. When I was being taught the correct way everything needs to be. So that's one of the main problems that people have is that they wait too long, and that they have shortcuts like the guttering. If you have one of those accordion type of things to get the water away, they fall off, they get crushed with your lawnmower, and they get cut up by your weed whacker. That's a huge problem.
Okay. Things to consider there too, because the water, that's where that water's coming out. If it just pushes it up against the side of the house, you're going to have some issues right there.
You are, and you wouldn't think it, but you'd think, oh, I've got a concrete basement and some water can't get in here, but that water is powerful, very, very powerful.
Okay, something to keep in mind there, obviously. And I was thinking about what you were saying there because, gosh, how simple is it? But what percentages of houses don't have foundation issues, don't have cracks?
I don't know if I know that number off the top of my head, but I'm going to say that probably 50, 60% don't have an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can walk in a subdivision that has issues, and I can usually hit every house. I can knock on a door and fix something somewhere. A lot of times it's the way the houses were built. A lot of times in St. Charles, they used a type of soil for backfill that was man-made. Part of it was man-made, part of the fill, and it doesn't compound very well. So I went to a house in St. Charles just a few weeks ago that had cracks. It was 6 months old and had 8 cracks.
Holy cow.
So some of them were from shrinkage, concrete shrunk and it cracked, hairline cracks. But I had to fix 4 of them. 4 of them were absolutely going to be a problem in the future. So it's a brand new house. So, you'd think by now we'd be flying cars and have perfect concrete, but we don't. We just don't. Everybody's in a hurry.
Well, we're working on the flying cars thing, but yeah,
Yes.
I got the new little Tesla. It's pretty cool. It'll
saw that.
drive you everywhere. But it's pretty neat. But yeah, technology with regard to foundations, they're all still almost always made out of concrete.
Yes, absolutely. That or cinder block. Cinder block is a horrible way to do it. And then, I can date a house by looking at the foundation. There's houses that were built in the 40s and 50s. They didn't waste anything. They used 1x8s to build forms to pour concrete in. All right. And then when they took them off, they used them to build the floors. So you'll see concrete on the floors. Like if you look up in the basement, you ever see concrete? You're like, is that mold? That was one of the questions I had last week. Is this mold? I said, no. They were selling their house. I want to make sure they didn't have mold. I said, that's concrete. And then I showed them the knot holes and stuff that in their pour. You could see where you could see the grain in the wood on their pour. So there's so many things you can learn. I can date a house. Working on a house right now that was from the buildings were moved from Forest Park after the World's Fair, and they hand poured a horrible foundation under this house. And they're having lots of problems. Very porous, water's getting in everywhere and it's breaking. It was all hand mixed in a basement, and a guy poured it in, the whole foundation. It was a farmer, in 1910. So, and then they moved those homes there, horse and carriage style.
But they literally picked the homes up and
Yes.
moved them
Yes.
with horses and carriages. That's
Yep.
kind of
Two houses next door to each other. Yeah, original farmhouses that they bought. They were giving them away, I think, after the World's Fair. They built all those temporary buildings.
Okay.
I used to work in Forest Park when I was 100 years ago.
All right.
And the buildings I was in were supposed to be temporary, and they were still there. So we were still working out of them. They were fixing tractors. So they had built a lot of it.
Somebody who's got quite the extensive background here understands where this is going and why it's so important. But good information. Tell me, residential, commercial? Do you do a little bit of each, or
I dabble in commercial, but we're mainly residential. I will go help somebody if they need help in commercial side. I don't advertise it, but I do it.
What do you like about residential?
Well, it's people. You're not just talking about some guy that owns a strip mall. You're not some guy that really. I'm one-on-one with a homeowner. They really care about that. They live there. Or sometimes it's a real estate agent that's trying to sell it, and they just want to. What's the cheapest fix I can get? I'm like, you got the wrong guy. It's not about. I'm not the highest guy, that's for sure. But I got to say that I'm definitely the most honest guy that I know in this business. So.
Yeah, and there's plenty of room for people to be unscrupulous to take advantage of people because water damage. They don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, it's
and
the wild west.
It's the wild west. Okay.
It's the Wild West.
All right. What are some of the things that people should watch out for that are being done? And that's one of my questions I get to here. But you got to be careful.
Gimmicks. If somebody comes out and they're like, look at this mousetrap. This new. They said we have a patent on this. We just designed it and it's going to fix everything. This is going to be the way you're going to support your house. We're going to tie this into something that's going to move your house. No.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. Do your research. Call 3 companies. All right. Look and read their website and their testimonials.
Find somebody who's got the great reviews and the history like you've got.
Absolutely.
Can have people that vouch for the work that you've done. Very important. What do you like about St. Louis and the people that are here in St. Louis?
Well, what I love about it is if I talk for 10 minutes with anybody, I usually end up knowing them somehow remotely.
Yep.
That famous St. Louis, where'd you go to high school, kind of thing. And the sense that we all have basements, most of us. I mean, 99% of us. I go to a buddy of mine who lives in Florida. I go there. Nobody has basements in Florida. Nobody has. Texas is sort of the same way. And I'm like, where do you go when the hurricane? You don't even have a place to go when the hurricane comes. You're in Florida on the coast. And he's like, we just get out of town. We get up on a plane. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know. I love the history. There's so many different houses. Compton Heights and the Hill, and there's so many things. And I love homes. I love rebuilding them also, so There's nothing better than walking in a place that's worthless and making it into something that's really a diamond.
Yeah, because there's buildings can be condemned if they've got foundation problems, and you can
Yeah,
come
and they're
in
beautiful.
and you can tear out, you can replace an entire basement for somebody if
Yeah,
necessary.
I see a vision of something, and I can make it into something really nice. So bring that back. I don't like new homes.
Well, if you know somebody who's in a situation with a foundation problem, here's your expert here that can tell you to what to do and how to get it done correctly. Important. Tell me a time though. I'm sure you've dealt with this many times where somebody was in a tough situation. You knew that you might have had somebody that they worked with that didn't do the job correctly, and you had to come in and fix things, but you took care of them.
Yeah, I've learned from my former founder. I've learned a lot about giving and helping people. So in some situations, if I get somebody that was just really treated poorly by another company that I can help, and give them some love, I do. It's not something I can do every day because I have to pay bills, but bottom line is I get it. I get that. I've been duped on things before. I mean, not foundation work, but I've been duped on a lot of things. But I see every week. I see somebody that's been duped with a repair that was not done properly, and I try and help them out.
Yeah, well, so many people. This is just beyond the pay grade for everybody. This is not what they specialize in. And as far as they can tell, the cement looks like it's all right, but where's this water coming from, and what's causing it? And it's water is secretive. It doesn't say, "Hey, by the way, I'm over here." It just sneaks in. Water
Yeah,
gets wherever.
it can sneak in, and from one side of the house to the other, and you don't know. You think it's over here because that's where you see it, but it's coming from the other side. There's you got to follow the clues. And the other thing is that when you're buying a house, you should call me if you've got a house that you're really interested in, and you want me to shoot over there and take a look, give you an evaluation. I'm your guy. I won't look at 8 houses in a row with you, but I'll look at the one that you think that you're going to put an offer on. You can call me, tell your agent you need to call Steve Heinrichs, or set an appointment with the little red tab there, and I'll come out and see you. I can come out pretty quick, usually within a few days.
Well, there you have it. Yeah, you think about that. If you're saying that 50% of houses probably have some kind of foundation problem, and what's the average? I mean, when you've got a foundation problem, you're talking $10,000-$20,000 in repairs. It could be.
It can be. I mean, I think the average ticket it might be $5,000 or less because if you have cracks, if you need a system or something, it can be. It really varies, but anywhere from 5,000 to 15 is some of the average, and then you have the oh my God situations that are that require weeks worth of work. That can climb up over 20,000.
Wow. Okay. Tell me though, the lesson you've learned as a business guy. I mean, flipping houses for so many years, you've probably seen just about every kind of problem. What are some of the biggest issues that you've run into? Lessons learned that made an impact on your life?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it starts at purchase.
Okay.
I've actually like I said, I bought and sold over 200. I know I bought houses just because of the price back when I started.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a city dweller at that time. I was buying everything on the state streets, and I was just buying it because it was cheap. I was like, oh, I can spend 20 grand and fix this thing and have a rental, And come to find out, there's major basement problems, water problems, and I bought a house one time without looking inside at the courthouse, and you could put a Volkswagen through where the roof used to be. I had no idea. So, I've learned a lot of hard lessons, but use all my knowledge. Call me out. And I'll help you. I already know all this stuff. I got all those years of failures and successes.
Yes,
so.
and you made it right. But yeah, not everybody has to go through these hard lessons themselves. No. Don't learn all the hard lessons yourself. Right. Bring in the experts that have gone through those, already been through it. Because like I said, if it's a big issue, $5,000-$10,000 repair that you've got to now take care of because somebody didn't catch it or pay attention or realize.
Correct. You buy a house, you're not expecting to spend $20,000 the day you buy it, and some things don't get disclosed. Some inspectors also don't have to take tests. You have it inspected, and a guy misses stuff. I had a guy miss the whole fact that there was stains in the basement on the walls, where you could see you had 6 inches of water in it multiple times, and nothing was said in his report. This was in Festus this week.
Holy cow! So this stuff goes on
all
every
the
day.
time, all the time.
And inspectors do a good job generally, but they miss
yeah.
stuff. And
well, they do. There's good ones, bad ones.
Right.
It's just like waterproofing specialists. There's good ones, bad ones.
You got it. We like to bring in the good ones here, everybody. So, all right, with that, we got a little more fun. We're going to take a tour down on some of our fun for cruising Lindbergh and some of the cars and excitement there. We talked to a couple of guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back here in just a minute. There's the caddy, everybody. There it is. Look at that. So look at this, baby, everyone. This is one of the supreme cars in the world right here. This is a 69 Chevelle hardtop. Colton, first name?
Darren.
Darren, that's right, Darren. Tell me about this car a little bit. Who's going to get this car maybe in the future?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you excited about it?
So, yeah.
All right. How did you end up with this in the family?
Father bought it maybe 5 years ago, and
Did it look like that when you got it?
it pretty much did. He's done a little bit, redone some steering stuff, and got the AC working the way it should be. Redid some brake booster stuff. Yeah, I mean he did a little bit. But
Let's
it was
turn around.
primarily-
Come over here. I'm going to talk to him while we got the engine open up. Look at this thing, everybody. This is classic car to the Supreme. This is like 1969 Chevelle, everybody.
I wasn't even thought about yet.
Okay, so I was born 3 years later, but my buddy Jason Millant, shout out to you. We drove around in the 80s, early 90s. I graduated in 90, so Lutheran South, right up the street here. And Jason had a SS69 Chevelle convertible, and they remodeled the whole thing. Looked beautiful. This is unbelievable. All right, show it up here, everybody. Check it out. I'm gonna flip the camera around one more time, and look at that beauty. That caught my attention. And Dad, is this one in the family too?
It is. It's also a 69 Charger Super B.
Charger Super B. All right. Unbelievable. Darren, thank you for your time, man. And he did mention he has seen me before running around.
I don't know who hasn't around St. Louis.
Well, I appreciate that. We have a lot of fun. And if you know anybody needs to pick me up, that's what we do. Cardinal Cowboy survived a coma. So let me know if there's anybody who's down and out. I'll talk to them about life is worth living.
Will do.
You got it, brother. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for making it fun. Give me some knuckles right there. All right. Colton, you too, brother. You got me? Good work, everybody. We'll be back. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. By now, we are on ABC 5 times a week. So many businesses are loving what we're doing to help them get their name out there. We'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. Takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Professional video on your website closes more sales by instantly building trust, clearly explaining complex products, and keeping visitors engaged longer. Reducing bounce rate by 34%. It'll help you to gain that credibility, increase engagement, simplify complex tasks, lower your sales friction, and boost your rankings on the search engine. So this is all kind of a no-brainer. See how we've now had over 500 interviews and now almost 250 different business owners. Go to bigleagues.com. That's bigleagues.com. Go to bigleagues.com and get signed up. You can schedule right from there. So there you have it, everybody. We talk about how the media has evolved and changed the world. But yeah, pick up our book here by Steve Kidd and Willie J. You've seen Willie on our show. Steve was on too. But Magnetized Media, #1 seller on Amazon. Yours truly, down there it says Cardinal Cowboy, wrote the foreword, the introduction here. But this book will really help you to understand how media has evolved and changed and what you should do to stay on top of that. And our guest here, Steve, has a few experts he's surrounded himself with. You're not a techie guy.
I am not.
But your daughter, Stevie, she helps you?
And Michelle, definitely. Michelle's key to it all. But we hired a gal to start helping me shoot videos. I love to have fun. So I give her some crazy ideas, and she goes like, oh, my God, and she runs with it. And, if you go on the website, you'll see some fun videos, but they're all informational. They all have a meaning. They all teach you something, but at the same time, they're funny or they're just good. So, and I shoot videos inside buildings all the time. When I see something, I love to shoot the weird thing of the week, where there's a gutter, go into a gutter, and then it just drops on the corner of your house. I love shooting that stuff because they're like, I don't understand why I have water in the basement. And then, I'll shoot that video just to show people. I don't name names though, or addresses.
You got it. Well, obviously you guys are on the ball and putting quite a bit of the information available for people so they can learn from you, even by just visiting your website. You get lots of information because you don't want to dabble with this. You want to make sure this is done correctly, or you end up with much bigger problems. And take care of those. Nip them in the bud, as they say, right?
Yes.
What are some of the mistakes you see that, without naming names, of course, but some of the other businesses make when they're doing foundation repair? And you talked a little bit about it, but they've got the latest patented gizmo.
Right. Well, I'll talk about, if you ever been in a basement that had those big metal plates with a bolt sticking out of it, those are trying to hold the wall from caving in. And one of the problems, the only problem with them, I guess maybe two. For one, they drill a big hole in your wall. All right, so it's just one more point of entry for water, right?
Yeah.
Then they give you a wrench so you can tighten the nut up every once in a while because the earth is still moving. And what that bolt goes to is a big T that's supposed to hold that plate with the ground. Well, the ground's moving. Everything's moving. So when that moves, it loosens up and you tighten it. And it loosens up and you tighten it. And all you're doing is pulling the earth to push harder on your house. They fail. I talked earlier about the 80-year-old couple. That's what happened to their house. They're sliding off a mountain, and they thought that they could put those T's in there and save them. That's a huge mistake. Those things don't work proper, and I have to go behind them often.
How do you fix those situations?
We put soldier beams in every 6 foot. We go 2 foot in the ground, then we attach to 3 to 4 of your rafters in there.
Joists, okay.
Your joists. So they're attached with a big piece of angle iron. So we're attaching to a big hunk of your house up top, and we're attaching 2 foot in concrete below. And we always put a system in with a sump pump and drain tile to go with that. It's just secondary in case something ever happens. You have it there. There's water table that comes under your house all the time too. So water comes up from the bottom. It pushes in at the sides. Water is everywhere. Sometimes people build houses with a spring under it. They don't know it until
later. There's a spring underneath their house.
It happens a lot.
Really?
Natural springs are all through Missouri. Okay.
Those are things that will cause a lot of problems. Make sure have our experts come out here, everybody. Steve knows what he's talking about and can really help you with that. Tell me the process again. We're going to go through this. I'm going to put up on the website. So at the very top of your website, this book to get an appointment actually set, or here they can just send an inquiry or learn about service or warranty work, and then they can text this number up here in the top right corner too.
That's correct.
Behind our
WaterproofSolutionsSTL.com.
It's up in the corner there, everybody. Trust me on that, behind our ABC 30. But go to the website, you'll see that in the corner. Pretty simple process. Walk me through what happens after that when somebody's
So they can either,
reach out to you.
there's a little questionnaire on there that asks questions, is your basement finished? Are we going to be able to see the walls? What's the problem? Are you getting water in? Is there a landscape, hardscape issue? There's just a few questions you answer. If you're the homeowner or the renter, that's another one. And we want an email address if possible, a phone number of contact, and then you get to pick the person and the time slot you want them. So it's good for you. We're available. The time slots are all right there. It's real simple. You just go on the calendar, click, and bam, you have an appointment. I come out and I'll see you.
There it is, everybody. You can see this is pretty simple. But put in your zip code. I'll put in 63026 where I grew up. How about that? We'll have. Mom still's got some, but there it is. You can see, straightforward, very well outlined for people to pick what service they like, and all the information there available right there. You're well organized. Who's helped you with all that?
Michelle and the lady that takes care of our website has also helped design all this.
Well, on the ball and make it easy for people, yeah, because we don't want to have to make the full phone call. We'll talk. You're going to call them back and talk to them afterwards. But, hey, just pick a time. Make sure you block out and figure out
Absolutely.
what is most convenient for you and easy to do there through the website. What's the biggest objection people have when they're beginning to work with you and they're saying, cost, is it time frame, or what's the biggest concern most people have?
Most of the time, people call and want to know if I can fix it right now.
Right.
That's a big one. They're like, I have this problem right now. Can you come out and just fix it today? And it's not like that. It's not like ordering a cheeseburger. But it doesn't take that long for me to come out and see you and get a plan. But the main thing is cost. People don't understand that if you don't take care of your foundation properly, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be real expensive down the road. So it's better if you prepare now. If you don't even have a problem, if I could come and just give you a few tips about ways to move your downspouts or this or that, it won't cost any money. It doesn't cost anything for me to come out and look. So if you have any little issue or think something might not be right, give me a call or set an appointment.
There you have it, everybody. 636-343, that classic 343, 4379. Go to the website, waterproofsolutionsstl.com. We got about a minute left here. Ultimately, when it boils down to it, what gives you the most satisfaction about what you get to do here?
The most satisfaction is when we have a huge, huge storm, and somebody I fixed 3 or 4 weeks ago, my cell phone will ring, and I go, uh-oh. And I'll answer, and I'll say, yeah, Betty, it's just, how you doing? She goes, oh, my God, I could just kiss you. And I'm like, oh, good, perfect, it worked. It worked. And that happens all the time. We get that all week. So we love that, and that's probably the most satisfaction I can get is just helping people finally have a dry basement.
Very important to keep a dry basement, especially when you've got a house that you want to keep for a long time, or if you something you want to sell long term. Make sure and take care of these issues because you don't want to spend $50,000 later for something you could have circumvented many years before and not dealt with such a big problem. Our experts right here, Waterproof Solutions. There he is, Steve Heinrich. Stay tuned. This is the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.